Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of BTD6. Let's continue with the intermediate maps, as always using monkey knowledge. Spring, Chimps. For this gameplay, as I anticipated in the Impoppable video, I'm gonna go with Pat, and I'm gonna use a heavily submarine strategy to be able to defeat this map Chimps, and also should be pretty easy as well Black Border if you pay enough attention to the placement of the tower, and especially about camo, because that is gonna be the biggest weakness of this strategy until you get a village. So the early start is exactly the same as in Impoppable. One sub in the back, one that monkey in the front is strong, so it's gonna weaken most of the greens or blue balloons, and then the sub can just finish them off. So that's the early strategy. Now, before doing anything else here, for round 8, at the very start of round 8, I'm gonna place another submarine, this time in this top side. Alright, the closer you can, always to the left side, and so that then later on you're gonna be able to fill with as many submarines as possible the back of the track. Of course, in Chimps you cannot sell the Duck Monkey. I would sell it, but I can't. And anyway, the Duck Monkey is gonna be a little helpful in some rounds, and also to give range to the subs once I unlock the advanced intel. It's gonna give some range on which the subs will be able to attack from the very first part of the map, so that's not bad. Right, so here the subs should do enough damage here to be able to pop all these balloons, despite how many of them may be. And here in this round, if you're fast enough, you should be able to place Pat before the round ends. Alright, like that. And so he gains a level 2 right off in round 13. It's not that important, but overall I think it's better if you place Pat before the round ends. And so he levels up already. And now Pat here, very important, because his level 3 is gonna affect almost all of the submarines that later on you're gonna start placing around, and that's gonna mean a lot of damage increase. So let's start getting here some twin guns, so these subs will start attacking faster. And now the sub that is gonna be the sub commander is gonna be this one right here. Why this one and not, for example, other ones? For a very simple reason. This one, once you get a village, and when you get an alchemist as well to buff it, this one is the one that with the biggest range will be able to include as many other subs as possible. Remember that the sub commander, if you don't have monkey knowledge, the sub commander buff will affect only submarines in radius. So remember to play smart, and remember to do that. So I got here one submarine 011 and the other one is still 001. Should not really matter here. Now for the camo round, the subs cannot attack in range because they don't have advanced intel. But anyway, even if you would have advanced intel, they will not be able to spot camo unless you have a tower that can detect camo for them. And so that's why I'm gonna place a ninja right here, a 100 ninja, just like that. I don't need this ninja to be upgraded more than that, because I'm gonna use this ninja just to give camo detection. In round 24, in this case, the ninja was right off able to pop the camo, but then in round 33, in round 36, 37, and all the rest of the camo rounds, until I can afford a village with camo detection, all those camos are gonna be poppable because of this ninja. It's gonna give camo detection to the subs that slowly here I'll start getting them 202. Now for round 36 or 37 or 42, depending on how well I perform, I'm gonna get as well this That Monkey 003. So the That Monkey range is gonna be bigger. That's gonna give more to the subs to attack the Bloons. So earlier poppage, and as well the camo detection for the subs always. And that's pretty much it. So I don't really think there is anything else here to do other than preparing yourself for round 40. So after you have already a Ninja 100, you can be sure that you will have enough damage to pop all the camos in these rounds. And so just focus here on getting 2 more subs, 202. So that's the goal for round 40, to have 3 subs 202 and 1 sub 021. That's the strategy. As well, remember to start placing these subs around Pat. Again, for the same reason, his level 3 is gonna affect the monkeys around him, and so the more subs you can place close to Pat, the better it is. You can see right now that I'm doing a lot of damage. These rounds are very easy, and they don't require particularly any kind of strategy or stuff like that. It's very smooth. So here I'm gonna get, as I said, the That Monkey 003. So pretty decent range, camo detection, and that's all I want. So unfortunately the lead popping power is gonna still be a problem until I can start getting some alchemists to start buffing these subs. But other than that, the damage should be there. So this is the village I was talking about. I want to place this village so that the alchemist will buff the sub commander, but at the same time I can have Pat in range. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, it's not enough. But anyway, here, waiting, activating Pat's ability, and that should be all the damage to the ceramics. So more attack speed here. I'm gonna get camo detection right off, at least for these 2 subs. The other 2 subs are out of range of this village, but I don't really mind now. Just having 2 of them with camo detection should be enough. And now the alchemist, as I said, right here, that should have the closest tower to it should be this sub right here, not the ninja. That's why I placed the ninja as well a little bit further away. So let's see. Yes, this sub is the one being buffed by the alchemist, and that's what I wanted. And so now it's just start placing more and more subs. Now before placing a submarine right here, I want to fill first these spots down here. So that's why I'm gonna start placing subs here, despite the fact that they may not be close enough to receive Pat's level 3 ability. But that will not be necessary because of the fact that the amount of subs I have here are doing more than enough damage to survive these rounds. That's another one, just 202 for now. Then later on I will upgrade them to 203, but for now 202 is enough. Here. The more you can, the better it is, so I recommend to take your time, try to place them as close to each other as possible, and in that way you can fit a ton of them. The only problems are camos right now, sorry, leads, because of the fact that that monkey cannot pop leads, and they will be poppable by the only sub that is buffed by the alchemist, and or when the leads enter in range of this 0 to 1 sub, or when they enter in range of directly the alchemist or Pat. So let's continue here. Round 52, so I'm not particularly worried about these rounds, so I'm gonna just continue here my job. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm gonna place 10. So one more. So let's place it here in range of this village. That is a little stronger. Consider how many subs I placed in the bottom side. And after placing 10 total subs, that is where you're gonna start saving up cash and getting the for the sub commander, of course. So you can see that here already with the village buff, with the alchemist buff, this sub commander, the submarine that will be the sub commander, almost has inside its range almost these very far away subs. So once you get the alchemist 400, and once you get the sub commander, almost every submarine in this backside should benefit from the sub commander buff, so extra pierce and damage, and the commander itself is gonna gain and more attack speed. So it's not very expensive, it's just 27k cash. So with all these subs, around 63 should be a piece of cake. And on top of that, you have also Pat's ability. So not really worries. Just to give here some extra range. And also I'm thinking about later on, I'm gonna place in both of these islands here, both of these rocks. Here we go, 2 alchemists, 120. Later on I'll get them 130. But these alchemists right now are gonna, well, first of all, be damaging the leads a little earlier. So in that way, the leads will not get too far before I can start damaging the pinks beneath them. And as well, they're gonna give range to the subs to attack around the Bloons, around the first rocks. So not only the second ones, but also the first ones. So again here, this ninja is useless because now I have a village, so I don't really need the camo detection anymore. The same sub, because it's in range of a village, is gonna give camo detection to all the other subs that are not in range of the village, but I cannot sell it because it's chimps, so I'm gonna just keep it there. Not spending any cash on it because it's not really worth. The 99% of the damage is coming out of from the subs, so it's not really wise to spend cash on a tower that is not really doing a lot of damage. It's not even attacking. So 10k more should be around 71 that I can afford the commander. And that's pretty much it. So you can see that if I use here Pat's ability, you can see that most of the subs are benefiting from the increased damage from the ability. So that's why as well very important placing Pat on top of water around all these subs. I mean in the center of all these subs. And not to mention as well the fact that Persian Potions is gonna remove 45 from leads and ceramics. So this may seem useless, but it's something that's gonna help the subs to pop the balloons faster, especially considering after round 80 the super strums, the 45 super strums are very tough to pop. So at least removing the 45 status is gonna be something. But anyway, later on I'll get a 024 motor to D45 the balloons, so that shouldn't bother. So you can see that everything I'm doing here is to give range to the subs. So I'm having here a 003 Dark Monkey giving camo detection and the range almost like as soon as the map, as the path begins. These alchemists right here giving range and also popping leads. Later on they're gonna also be responsible for the concussion. And that's the sub commander already, round 73. Now all these subs around are already stronger. So what I'm gonna do is I'll get this alchemist here 400 so that the range buff is even bigger. So I should be able to cover as well these two subs. Let's see now. Yes, maybe this one. Alright. Now I'll get then later on all these subs to 03 triple guns, but I will not get them to 04 because I think that the upgrade is quite expensive and you don't really need the extra mob damage. You already are gonna do a lot more damage, so it's better to get like 3 subs 203 instead of getting 1 sub 204. That's the maths behind. It's just an equation of the pros and cons, and it's just better overall to get the subs 203 and leave them like that. So that's another village 220 giving camo detection as well to these other subs. So now almost all of them should have as well a bigger attack speed, so a higher attack speed. And now before round the beginning of round 81, 82 and so on, I'll start getting both of these alchemists to concussions, so 130. So I will create explosions, and I'm gonna start doing some area damage as well with when the mob class balloons coated gonna pop. And you can see that this is a very easy black border. You need just to be careful about the camos at the beginning, because that's the only thing that can screw you up. But then it's just placing subs and subs, a ton of them, getting the commander, and that's it. Now from now on you need to be careful for round 90 to get both of these villages, or at least the top one for this commander, to MIB, so you can always pop the DDTs, and not only when it's buffed by the alchemist. That right now I get it 402. Maybe I will be able to buff another sub here other than the commander. I cannot really see here the yellow line Yeah, but now this second alchemy, the second sub is being buffed. Alright, so I'm gonna exploit this village. I still have some room here, so I'll place more subs here in this, hopefully in range of the village. So more attack speed and camo detection, of course. Okay, here we go. And just filling every spot possible with subs. That's your goal. It may cause the game to lag a little bit as well, but it's better. Okay, so here I think I cannot place any more subs here in range of the village, but there should be enough room as well in some spots, like here for example. So why not? Here's an extra sub. Okay. Here nothing. Here. Can I place something? No. Okay, that's it. So those were the maximum amount of subs that I was able to place. MIB here, MIB here, so I don't forget about that. And now I'll start getting all the subs to 03. First the ones that are being buffed by the alchemist, and the ones that are under the range of a village, and then slowly the other ones. So I'm setting these alchemists on strong, so they're gonna code always the mob class Bloons, but sometimes you can see the alchemist like attacking and coding the ceramics and not the mob class Bloons, so sometimes that happens. It's like a weird interaction. Right. Also another thing, when Pat turns level 14, his level 3 gets increased radius, duration, and more damage to ceramics and mob class Bloons. So now if I activate his level 3, he's gonna buff a lot more of subs because the radius is bigger, and that should definitely help with the damage overall in those very hard rounds that so far are not really here, but they're gonna come. Okay, so first I think here I'm gonna continue to buff the subs as well that are under the sub commander range first, and then the other ones. Okay, so this one for sure, and then the last two. Here we go. And that's it for subs. So the subs, I will not touch them anymore. As I said, I'm gonna start building here a mortar. You can see that fortified mob class Bloons especially, even with all these mortars, with all these subs, are taking quite a long time to be destroyed, and so that's why I'll start build this mortar to defortify them at the very beginning, and that should solve a lot of things. Especially around 97 and 98, getting the defortifying mob class Bloons is gonna be very helpful. So despite all of the MIBs and all my efforts, still the DDTs, you were able to see the DDTs coming pretty far. And so for round 95, the best strategy I could find to survive it is using Pats level 3 when the first DDT is about to leak. So not too late, of course, because otherwise you're gonna lose, but activate it as late as possible so that the vast majority of DDTs will be destroyed with the while still the ability is up. Because if there are some DDTs still coming out and the ability runs out, you may have some problems. So here I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So be ready to use Pat's ability. See here, DTs coming further and further and further the more we go on. I'm gonna use the ability right now. Alright, so when the DDTs were almost about to get through, that is where I used the ability. Unfortunately though, these 45 mobs are quite annoying, so I'm gonna just move here and here, that's it. So unfortunately I was so focused on DDTs that I forgot to upgrade the shattering shells, and so some of the 45 mobs were getting dangerously close to leaking, but thankfully Pat as well was knocking them back, stunning them, and yeah, doing everything necessary. And now for round 100, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a first strike capability, and I'm gonna use that to destroy the BD even faster. So with all this set up, you can perfectly destroy the BD. You just need to start getting here some subs 204, like 5 or 6 of them, and then round 100 should be pretty easy. But because I have already this sub and I can upgrade it, I said why not. So here you can see that the subs are first focusing the Domegat coming towards the top side. So I'm gonna move first the mortar to that side, to the 45 BFBs, and then here to the bottom side. Here we go, and I'm moving it as well again to the beginning. Right, here we go. This round should be very easy, even if you don't use Pat's ability. So don't really worry about that. Defortifying all these BFBs is what really makes the difference. And yeah, so be ready to use Pat's ability for the 45 DDTs in round 99. So that's why you don't need to use it in round 98. You can even use here a first strike capability as well. It's pretty much the same. So using here Pat's ability should be enough for these DDTs, right? Yes, okay. And that's the BAD. You can see I still have 10k cash to spare, so I could get here some of these subs 204 if I want to. Now to use the first strike capability correctly, you need to wait until the very last layer of the BAD is about to pop. So when these things go out, and boom, and that should be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.